Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, is a 5-issue miniseries written by Frank Miller and illustrated by John Romita Jr. It comes in a whole bunch of different forms, like trade paperback, omnibus, and I think there's like a Marvel Select version of it where it's in hardcovers and whatnot, and that's really, really, really dope. But I got them in singles only because there's only 5 issues, and they weren't like super hard to find. So I was just like, I never really do this, so I kind of went hunting for them. But I will rate this out of all the stories I've read, out of all the origin stories I've read, that this is probably among one of the best ones. Probably like top 3, probably top 2. I would probably rate this one maybe like the second best origin story I've ever read, as far as like the writing goes, and like the illustrating by John Romita Jr. A lot of people don't like him for whatever reason, but I don't see I honestly love his art. Like, I think his art like is insane. I'll always buy his work, even if it's like, if it's a writer I'm iffy about. If John Romita Jr. drew it, I'll buy it. But yeah, this comic is just insane. And like, one thing that I also really did like about buying the singles is that they had like this shine to it. Like, I think you can kind of see it. Like, had that outlining shine, and Daredevil just looks sick. And it also has like, I don't know what it's called, like it kind of pops out or whatever when you like run your hands against it. I feel like I'm Daredevil blind or whatever, and like I'm reading it with my fingertips and stuff. And the one thing that I'm pretty sure, I think Frank Miller started it, I don't know, but I see a lot of other writers do it, like in modern comics. But I love these, like in the back. Like, I think these are so cool. Like, it's like a little, like, you don't know where in the story it's from, like at what point, but it's just like a cool little panel, not giving away too much, but showing that it's like, that there's something badass in the story happening. I guess I can bring that one kind of close. I don't know if you can read it. It says, I'll read it. I'll just read the first one. No pity, no mercy, only cold, clear purpose. And now the time has come to see what Matt Murdock is made of. And when I read that, I was like, shee! And I thought it was really cool. And I'll flip through it real quick. I don't want to give anything away. I mean, oh, shit. Yeah, that's kind of like what it kind of looks like and stuff. I really don't want to give anything away. I don't want to spoil too much, but it's just, anyone who sees the writing, if you're like an artist, you will like aspire to be like this. And then the storytelling it's so realistic. That was the one of the biggest things that stuck out to me about it, is how realistic this story was, because most of the origin stories I've read, not all of them, but a lot of them, like, it kind of happens like that. Like they're like, oh, overnight, they're like Flash or whatever. But Daredevil, and like there are other characters like Superman, like it took him like his whole life to become Superman. And Batman, like he had to go through that whole like, rite of passage. Batman was probably one of the better ones I read. And Spider-Man just kind of like happens overnight. But Daredevil, like this one really does just show his whole life, like him building up to being Daredevil. And I still haven't read Daredevil Yellow or anything, but I'm probably gonna read that one too. But I just wanted to read this because, like, I know Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, they're pretty pretty baller when it comes to like a duo in comics. But I mean, Frank Miller he's like the legend or whatever, and John Romita Jr. I mean, I always just thought he was like a pimp and stuff. And like there's like I don't want to give anything away too much, but like there's this one little like there's always like little panels that stick with me. And like this one right here, I won't give it too much away, but like it's on the first page, this one right here. And if you just read it for yourself, when you read on the second issue, it's like the first page of the second issue. I read that and I was like, damn, that's badass. And and like you can see how much like the show takes from this. And I feel like all Daredevil comics kind of like have that same look to it, but like just a shot of him like with the glasses on, just like with a cold like blank face, like how he has right here. I'm just like, I remember I saw that in the show, and I instantly thought of like all the Daredevil comics I ever read, and I was like, holy crap, that's insane. And yeah, it's really awesome. But yeah, it shows a lot of like personal moments that Matt Murdock goes through, which is pretty awesome, and a lot of like little relatable things, especially like if you're into working out or whatever. Like it's just cool, like how it really builds up, like him going out into the night and stuff, and like the adventures of his life and stuff, and like just the art is just insane. Like I really don't want to give too much away, but yeah, I'll show you this quick panel. Like, I was just like, damn, like, I just, that's how I just see myself, like, running, and I'm just like, this is so cool. And another thing that was so realistic about it, that stood out on, like, any comic I ever read, was, I'm not gonna give away spoilers, because I hated it when I would watch, like, these videos and stuff, and then they kind of just, like, tell you what happens, or they're like breaking it down like the final issue, like panel by panel, like, and then Batman and Joker die, and I'm like awesome, thanks for showing me that. But the build up to the last two issues, these two, issue 4 and 5, is so worth the wait. So worth the wait. Like, in these ones, issues 1, 2, and 3, and like half of 4 is like Matt Murdock, but then issue 4 and 5 is Daredevil. But it's not even Daredevil. It's more like the Man Without Fear. Like, he doesn't even become Daredevil yet. He just finds his rite of passage. He goes through it. He lives his life. It takes the long way and stuff. But when push comes to shove, it's time for him to, like, make a difference. And he's going to go out and do something about it. And the most realistic thing I read about it, that I'm not going to give anything away, was anything like too grave away, was like who he's fighting, like when he finally becomes the Man Without Fear. Because like with Batman and stuff, like even when he first like becomes Batman, it's like the Red Hood gang or whatever, and like with Spider-Man, it's like Green Goblin, like right off the bat, like Ultimate Green Goblin or whatever. But with Daredevil, it's like real life scenarios, and it's literally just him against these real people, and I'm like, holy shit, like, that's insane. This is just, like, this happens all the time. Like, I can't relate to Green Goblin blowing up my school, but I literally know, I've always, like, feared of, like, stuff like this happening to me, that happens in this comic. And then there's one guy who can hear it all, and I was just like, holy crap. And it's just so worth it. It's such an awesome read, and still, like, these little back ones, they always just, they just keep me excited, like, because I had to buy issues 1, 2, and 3, and then 5, and I couldn't find issue 4 for the longest time, and I remember I would just look at this one, but I wouldn't even open it, I wouldn't flip through it, not to, like, you know, you pick up a new comic, you kind of, like, flip through it real quick, I would just be looking at this back part, and I was like, dang, I wonder what happens, and stuff, as I had to order issue 4 on eBay, but, and it came in good conditions, whatever, it's not like these are super valuable, they're just easy to find, and, yeah, it's just so cool, and this one's, like, my favorite cover, like, this Daredevil, and then Yellow Suit Daredevil, and it's just so cool, it's so awesome. I would honestly recommend, like, getting, like, the singles over the paperback, but the Marvel Select one did look pretty good, but, like, I know the paperbacks are, like, really expensive or whatever, or the omnibuses and, like, the hardcovers, but I would just recommend the singles, because it's just, like, a cool little thing to have, like, just 5, these, like, uniquely cool comics. There's, like, no ads in it or anything, and the art is literally timeless. It's, like, some of, like, it's just, the comics like these are what comics are made of. It's so, it's literature, like, reading it, and there's so much depth to it, and cover to cover, like, you're just, like, it's just so much fun. You're blown away. And just those last 2 issues, like, I remember, like, at the end of this issue, I thought it was so cool, like, I literally showed my mom. I was like, Mom, can I just read you this? And, like, because I thought it was so, like, what's the word, like, meaningful, like, so, there's a lot of heart to it, and it was, like, poetic. I was like, oh my god, like, wow. And, it's awesome. I have yet to read any more Daredevil, to be honest. I've only read a little bit of the current run. What's his name? I don't know. I was about to say Zelensky. He's not the president of Ukraine. It starts with Scranson or something. Wait, I think I have one in here. Yeah, Devil's Reign. Wow, that's actually kind of funny that I have one in here. This guy, whoever wrote that one, read Devil's Reign and a little bit of that run where like Elektra's Daredevil, but I haven't really got into it. I'm really excited to read. I want to read the Frank Miller run like before this, because this is apparently the origin story. Like this is kind of like the prequel to the whole Frank Miller run. That's essentially what this is. It's kind of like the prequels or whatever. And then I was gonna read the whole run that he did, and then after that, and I'll probably read Daredevil Yellow at the same time. And then I'll weigh which one is the better origin story out of Man Without Fear or Daredevil Yellow. And then I was going to jump into Marvel Knights. Marvel Knights is what I really am looking forward to. Like, I want to read the Kevin Smith run, and then the one with the Echo, and then the Brian Michael Bendis run. That's what I'm super looking forward to those ones. And I bet that there are, like, some other cool Daredevil comics, like tie-in ones or whatever. And I know he's in Ultimate Spider-Man. I still have yet to read that one. But yeah, this was a good jumping off point for me for Daredevil. And yeah, I hope you liked this video. I just realized how long this video was. Just watch the show. I feel like you should watch season 1 in this show and read this 5-issue miniseries around the same time. And yeah, Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, the Devil of Hell's Kitchen, Matt Murdock, Daredevil. Man Without Fear!